Hey, what's going on guys, welcome back to another video. It's Serge here, and today we're going to be talking about Battlefield 6. Before I start this video, if you like this type of content and want to see more, please make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. So, Battlefield 6. This is a compilation of the leaks that we got. So it is an easy access for anyone that just wants to understand the raw details that have come out so far. Take this with a grain of salt, this is not the facts, but nevertheless, here are the leaks and my impressions. So, Battlefield 2021 will be set in a World War III setting and feature NATO vs Russia combat. So from what I can see, it's going to be quite similar to Battlefield 4, except a bit less out of the future, so it's going to stay in present time, which is quite interesting. I wouldn't mind NATO vs Russia combat, but when we think of NATO, it's most likely just going to be Britain or America, so I don't think we're going to get too much variation, but I could be wrong. I think this could be a thing. I really do believe that they would do something like this because they were looking for a modern game, and it is quite believable, so I will give them that. I do think that there will be a World War III setting. Not sure if it's NATO versus Russia, but I'm probably thinking it will be, because let's deal with this. Let's talk about it. They aren't going to say it's China, even though we're like, it should probably be China, but it's not going to be China. I doubt it very much, but you know, I'm open to be surprised. The problem is these days, all the gaming companies are partly owned by Chinese companies, so there's a very high chance they're not going to be talking about China at all. That's why it always surprises me when they use Russia, because Russia is really like, they're not really as strong as they used to be, are they? No. So, who knows what will happen, but I assume they're right with Russia if it's World War III. But it is a very interesting premise. So, next is War Stories. So, War Stories return, one being a US squad in America fending off Russians, another an MI6 operative stopping the advance of Russians into NATO territory. So I really like the premise of the US squad in America, because I reckon there could be some really sick maps being made out of that, and I reckon it'd be cool to have some urban combat in the streets of America. If anyone remembers Modern Warfare 2, I really enjoyed Burger Town missions, any missions that were in America. I enjoyed it. It's just something different that I enjoy. Guilty pleasure. Okay, so the next one is the MI6 operative. This is very interesting. Not really, but I'm keen to see some more information, because it's really just telling me MI6 operative stopping the advance of Russians. So I assume it's going to be more like Black Ops stuff, so not really like open combat, while the US squad will probably be more traditional military. But that's good. War Stories looks promising. Hopefully they can do that. I would want a few more missions, but we've only got 2 missions so far. I assume maybe 4 missions if they do something similar to Battlefield 5. And now this is the big one that I feel is 100% correct. 128 players, so 64 v 64. I don't see Battlefield 6 not doing 64 v 64, because Battlefield was always a game that promoted the idea of having these massive battles that no other games had, which was 32 v 32 back in the day. But as we can see from places like Warzone that has up to 150 players, they're a little bit outdated, so they're going to have to level it up a bit. 64 v 64 sounds like a good middle ground. What I would really like to see would be like 100 v 100, but I don't think they'll do that because that's really ambitious and crazy. And I couldn't imagine how big of the maps I'd have to make to do that. So I feel like maybe 100 v 100 in 20 years. That's my opinion on 64 v 64. It will probably happen. Next is modes coming to multiplayer. So some of the modes that are coming include Team Deathmatch, Domination, Conquest, Breakthrough, and Grand Operations. I don't think anyone's really surprised at that, apart from Grand Operations. Like Team Deathmatch, yeah, it's no one really plays Battlefield for Team Deathmatch. Domination, no one plays Battlefield for Domination. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not really the sellers. The sellers are Conquest, Breakthrough, and Grand Operations. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest, the best game mode that I played so far, I would say, is Breakthrough. Grand Operations from Battlefield 1 was really good too. It kind of combined Breakthrough. It basically was Breakthrough in a way, except for like more, like you go into different maps, and I think Grand Operations Battlefield 1's cooler with the behemoths. Battlefield 5 Grand Operations, it was a complete flop. It was so repetitive, jumping out of a plane every single time. I just didn't enjoy it too much, and you can't even play now. They just needed to change it a little bit, you know. They could have made something with Grand Operations. I feel like it could have been great. And I actually, to this day, have never played the Battle Royale kind of experience when you only have one life. I've never played that, so I've got no idea what's going on. I didn't get to enjoy that. You can't tell me that you just gotta unlock it from the tie and stuff like that. So like, if you're putting away something that's so hard to get in the game, that they're advertising it, that's like, oh, it's a really cool part of the thing. If you're making a 1% chance of me getting it, how's that entice me to play? 1% chance? No. You're gonna put up the chances for something like that, because I wanted to play The Last Stand. And yeah, that didn't happen. And as you can tell on the servers, you can't really find the Grand Operations server anymore. I'm not too bothered by that, because Breakthrough is my favorite mode. I love Breakthrough, especially the invasion styles. So I really enjoyed the Pacific versions when you start on the American cruisers, and then you are going off to take those sections of the map. I feel like that is really Battlefield in its prime. Correct me if I'm wrong again. Conquest, I personally am not the biggest fan of Conquest. I will happily play games of Conquest. I just prefer the grand battle scene when everyone's together and I can get lots of kills. But, you know, I'm still excited for it. I'm not excited for Team Deathmatch Domination. I'm not going to play that unless I'm begged to by you guys. So, more information on Grand Operations. And it is an updated version of what was in Battlefield 5. So I'm hoping there's a lot of changes, because I do not want to see the same as Battlefield 5. They need to make it more unique. Okay, Grand Operations now take place over the course of 5 days. Each battle fought on a given day will give the winning team an advantage on the following day. The more days that are won in a row, the bigger the advantage comes. You know, that actually sounds really interesting. It actually entices you to do well in the first days, because I remember when you played Battlefield 5 Grand Operations, you could lose every day and then win so easily. There was no enticement. I don't know why they didn't do any behemoths. It was surprising. They should have done behemoths and made it a little bit more interesting to win, because the first few days are like, okay, they weren't anything too exciting. And I feel like in that game it was just a lot of bottlenecks that stopped gameplay in Grand Operations. So they really got to fix that if they want any chances of making the mode more sustainable and last longer. Advantages, they sound really cool, and I hope they don't make it too overpowered, but I really want to see something cool. I want to see some behemoths. I feel like they could do it like, I don't know, they could put an AC-130 as a behemoth, or they could put like, oh, what could they do? They can do some cool things. I don't know, maybe like a tank squadron, or if it's a naval map, they could do those boats. You know, have you seen those boats that kind of like go on beaches? Pretty good. Okay, so next is the part about days. Okay, so whoever wins on day 5 wins the game. It is very possible for one team to lose the first 4 days and win on day 5 by overcoming steep odds. So I still like this idea. There is a large enticement to do well, which I completely agree with, because if you're just wasting your time and there's no enticement, why not just do day 5? So each day is different on different maps. A description of one of the maps is, it is set in the American suburbs. The map features a town hall, sprawling neighborhoods, a shopping mall, a drive-in, a town center, and a park, an interstate, and many other small areas. This map is about 1.5 times the size of Hamada from Battlefield 5. So basically it's 50% bigger, and geez, Mother is a pretty nicely sized map. So we're going to get some pretty big maps, which is awesome, because of that new player count that is allegedly being displayed, which will allegedly need more maps, so allegedly. So, day 1. NATO forces deploy on the interstate while Russians paradrop into the mall area. Red Dawn style. So, I do not dislike paradrops. I just want it to be done correctly. I don't want to see paradrops every single mission. I'm completely happy with them. I just don't want it to be so repetitive that every single map has a paradrop. Let's change it a little bit. Why not a naval invasion? Or they come in underground or something like that. You know, it's just something different. NATO has to grab a different set of control points along an alternate route on the way to the mall. Teams cannot recapture points once they are taken by the enemy team. In this first round, NATO manages to capture all the points. Then the Russian team, this then pushes the game to day 2. So there's definitely misspelled it. So NATO has managed to capture more points than the Russian team. Which is pretty good. Let's go NATO. So on day 2, the Russian team deploys in the neighborhood, while the NATO team deploys at a new established FOB, which means forward operating base if anyone's wondering, at the mall. This new FOB grants NATO additional vehicles to use on day 2, while the Russian team has none. That's another cool feature. I would love something like that. The objective in day 2 for the Russians is to destroy several targets throughout the map. NATO's objective is to capture a single hill at the center of the neighborhood deep behind enemy lines. Say in this scenario, the Russian team wins. So I like the change, and that was another one of the only problems I had in operations, is that you're defending or you're attacking. Why not have a bit of both? Why not have, one side want to achieve something and the other side have to achieve something, instead of just defend the point, because then you just get these clusters, and that's perfect for breakthrough, not perfect for grand operation. Each side should have their own things that they got to get done. So I completely support something like that. That'd be cool. So day 3, both teams will have a similar advantage again. Day 3 involves more vehicle and team-based play. Each team is given a command tank with extra health and armor to defend. That's cool. I wouldn't mind a tank that we can get, but I'm just confused on how many people are in a team. They're staying at 64. Okay. But who gets to control the command tank? That is another thing that's wondering. Because, let's think about it. Who's in charge? Is it going to be bringing back commanders from Battlefield 4? Or is it going to be just like squads? And that's one other thing I need to find out. How many people are in a squad? I don't want 4. I would like something like 8. I think 8 would be good. Something more realistic that can have a larger number of people, because the squads, they just kept going down in size. You think they'd go up. So let's get that squad number up. So the tank has extra armor and health to defend it. Each team also needs to get that tank to a certain location within the map. First one to the location or to destroy the enemy's tank wins. Let's say the Russian team wins this day as well. Now they have an advantage on day 4. That's really cool. What we need is variety, okay? The more variety, the better. That's all we need. That makes me have a better time, because I want to replay it if it's different on every map. Change it up a little bit. I'm enjoying this idea so far. So, day 4 involves NATO defending City Hall from a Russian attack. That sounds so good. I just think of the Washington DC. If they don't do a map in Washington DC, if this comes true, I'm gonna be pissed, because I could imagine them like sitting down, even at the White House. I'm surprised they haven't done something like that before, like at the White House, like an invasion. Just do it. It'd be cool. So, NATO's objective is to hold out until the timer goes to 0. The Russian objective is to take the control point at City Hall. The Russian team is given extra vehicles to complete this task, since they won the last 2 days, while NATO gets nothing. say the Russian team wins day 4 as well. Now they have a major advantage going in. Jeez, this sounds good. It sounds so real that it can't be fake, but you guys gotta keep that grain of salt because I don't want to mislead anyone. But damn, that's sounding good. I hope it comes true. Day 5. The final day features a game mode very similar to that of Front Lines from previous Battlefield games. There are 7 command points in total, which can be fought over back and forth. The Russian team would start 1 command point closer to the NATO base than they would have otherwise, since they won the previous 3 days. That's a pretty cool feature. That sounds good, like giving a little more enticement to win the days, get to go forward. I still bloody want a behemoth. God damn it, I want a behemoth. They would also receive extra vehicles, respawns, and have AI air support on call for use by squad leaders. That's cool. We're using like A-10 Warhogs, well obviously not the Russians, but you know, something similar to an A-10 Warhog. I would prefer if they just had real fighters, like real players in them. I'm sure a lot of our fighter communities wouldn't mind. The only thing I don't like about player fighters is, geez, there are some really good fighter players that just kill you every time. I don't know how they'd solve that, but it's just a statement. So, in this situation, it is highly likely the Russian team would win. However, through great teamwork and tactics, NATO can still pull off the upset and win day 5, and win that match of Grand Operations. That is how Grand Operation works in the next Battlefield. Finally, I know of 3 maps so far. The suburban map, a European city, and the Russian forest map. That is all the info for now. So, it's very descriptive. My opinions on this leak. It sounds really descriptive, but it sounds too good to be true. Let's be realistic. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm really hoping I don't get my hopes led down. I'm really hoping that this is going to be great. And all this stuff, these leaks are building hype. I still feel like game companies use leaks as a way to build hype. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. I do believe that, because it's quite a smart business plan, if you ask me. They're not releasing anything official, but they're leaking it out. If this was to come out, I feel like I would be very happy with the game. I'm hoping it's the same gameplay to Battlefield 5. I really like that smoothness. I prefer it to Battlefield 4 in the smoothness gameplay aspect, and I feel like they can do some pretty cool stuff with it. That's basically it, guys. That's everything we have on leaks so far for Battlefield 6. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you guys subscribe. Comment something if you've heard any more leaks, or you want me to talk about a leak that's come out recently. But for now, that's what we have, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys later. Make sure to subscribe.